taking exams still, keep your volume less so you don't get disturbed. First, check out with people. How was the exam today?
Was good.
Was good. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see some of you. You
Not
can show
long
your-
questions as people give feedback in routine meetings.
I didn't get you. Repeat again.
So generally, the team shares the feedback that the questions are too long like that. So this time, maximum questions are not too long. They are,
Okay.
not too long. Yeah, short
Okay.
or medium sized. So
Good. It's good to read for you.
yes.
Okay.
It was sufficient time, I can say.
Sufficient time. Nice to know. Good. All right. So let's start from the beginning. Anyone here who feel your level of scores and approach towards exam is improved?
Well, I can tell my scores if that is okay. So I scored 45. Required is 68. So I am still not reaching the target. And yeah, these are I evaluated also my answers and the reasons why the things are correct or why the things are wrong, why the answers are wrong. So yeah, I can say that these are like very minute things which I overlooked, and that's why the answers are wrong.
Okay. Okay. You completed the exam and they also evaluated the questions.
Yeah.
You did all this in 1 hour?
Sorry, I could
cover-
finish early.
Faster. Okay.
I could review some questions again and change the answers, which was good in 2 out of 3. One I made it wrong
Okay.
by reattempting.
Okay. Got you. All right. Good. Nice. Thanks for the inputs. I appreciate that. And then we'll start with the question discussion. Do I have some people who are getting to exams next 1 week or 10 days of time? Please put your hands up so I know that you have something to talk about the people who go to exam. Let's start with Chandan. I saw your hands up there. Hey, Chandan, please go ahead.
Sorry, Shri, that hands up was for another, the previous question, what I observed, Shri, is that in the last week, I completed reading the Agile practice guide. And there were few questions which I understood after, looking at the wrong answers, that the questions were also from like other reference guide. Like one of them is the coaching, the companion for Scrum Master, probably some other books probably. But kind of part of it is covered through Agile practice guide. So those I could answer. Some of them were outside that book, which I couldn't make out actually. Probably when we go to specific questions, we can look at that. Yeah.
Understood. Okay, thanks for that input. So when is your exam getting planned, Chandan?
June, Shri.
June is your exam. Okay, I hear you. Okay, so I have people who scored better, who are moderate. Anyone here who felt that, man, I'm reading well, but the scores aren't going up, even though
That's me. Yes, that's me. Because see, honestly, when I'm doing my studies, I feel very confident when I'm covering each chapter. Then go and try to quiz myself, like try and see how well I fare in each of these topics. But the only issue I find with these exams when I'm taking on the weekly basis is that the elimination technique works to eliminate the like out of the 4, I can eliminate 2 easily. So it's always coming down to the other 2. And I'm like always stuck in that phase where is it this or that when I'm answering. And when I review, I'm like, oh man, I should have gone with it. I knew I should have gone with that. So when I'm reviewing these questions, it's more like that face palm. Oh my God, I should have just done that. So how I arrive at those questions, I'm like still not very confident at that. I really need to get there at that stage where I can confidently choose between those 2. So I need to get in that mindset probably in the coming days. But I think I really need your help, Shri, because at times it is a little demotivating because I am definitely putting a lot of effort in terms of learning the theory. But to apply that mindset, it does get difficult. Maybe some cues, some, tips here and there could be a little helpful.
Sure, we'll talk about it. Good that at least your elimination is working well up to some extent. That is nice.
Yeah.
See, this also goes back to completing reading those terminologies of PMI. It could be RITA or PMBOK or Agile Practice Guide. The more you are aware of those topics, it is going to be good enough after elimination how to target the answer. Because the elimination goes by looking at the negative words, which is not into the management world. At present, the management world would be like support your team or encourage failure to learn from there. So these are the concepts we look into. But something comes against to that, you will easily eliminate it. That's fine. But if you want to really target that right answer, you should get into the mindset of Project Management Institute, where they explain all these concepts of schedule, cost, or stakeholder, right? That's what it is. There is no one line answer to tell that, okay, read this one page. From here on, you will answer all the question correctly. If that's the case, it's going to be very easy, but sure, it is not the case. So what to do here? Elimination works well, happy. Now, concept understanding, that's the reason we are listening to the classes.
Yeah.
Parallelly, you are also reading the book. Okay. But will it happen tomorrow? The answer is no. The reason is management is one of the broad and dry subject which takes our brain time to digest it. You can see world leaders or parliaments or state elections. Mostly people above certain age start competing. You may be wondering why these guys are doing. Are they not having any job? That's why they're competing at the age of 70. You may be surprised. The reason is for management and leadership, there is some digestion time. There are exceptional people. Out of 100, 2, 3 people are there. At the younger age, they start shining. We may see some young leaders in any sports, music, or politics. Some people at the age of 25, 30, 40 start shining. Now, why I'm giving all this philosophy is management is not something like we read yesterday, today we'll answer it. It takes its time. So it is a gradual learning process. However, it is, there is a time of 3 weeks or 4 weeks for our classes. When the class is happening, when you keep reading, you are definitely better than the day one. You can easily bet with anyone, tell that, hey, what was my knowledge when I started these sessions? What is the knowledge right now? I'm sure you are better.
Yes.
But when I want to go to a competitive examination like PMI, PMP, this better alone will not help. Now let's go to that point. The point here is, I keep saying that after you write an exam, like today you did 40 questions. Now we have to do a good analysis to see why those two answers was so tricky for me. Is it the English words are tricky, or I am not ready with the concept? If you feel the words are tricky, you can go through, understand what is the keywords from the glossary of Agile Practice Guide, glossary or in PMI website. Even if you go to pmi.org, there is a web link where they have all the glossaries. When I say glossary, keywords.
Right.
But even per day you read 10 words, you get a solid amount of words which is ready for examination. This is on the reading vocabulary. First point. The second point is, when I'm analyzing the question, I found my gap in the knowledge is very high. For example, there is something on risk management. We have to do a qualitative and quantitative risk analysis. Imagine the classes has not happened about the risk, or even the class happened, but we didn't spend time to read. But that's a gap.
Yes.
Now, consolidating all the answer, I'll tell you that you are better than before because you're able to eliminate it well.
Yeah.
Now, from here on, it will take another 1 week or 10 days to tune further to understand that vocabulary plus understanding the subject.
Okay.
So you are traveling the right track. Just keep up the same momentum. You
Yeah.
may not realize when you started doing, but for your surprise, one day your scores will be very high in full exams.
Okay. All right.
Question to you now. Are
Yeah.
you planning your full exam in any near term?
I really wanted to do it by the end of May, but then with my current progress, I'm really doubtful. Because I want to be able to, at this stage, I would have assumed myself getting between 60 and 70 consecutively in all my exams. So right now, what's happening, the pattern is that in some exams, I'm getting around 60 and 70, but sometimes I don't even make it close to 60. So that's giving me the doubt of even being able to go confident with my exam application process.
Mhm. One thing I would tell, yeah, it is not for you. It is a situation for everyone in this room who are from the month of April. The scores will not be high. It'll be moderate, except some people who prepared at least a few months before. But for this, I will not expect you to stop your practice full exams. Whatever stage now, whether you were super good in weekly test or you read every line in the book, don't worry. By beginning of May, you should go for at least one full exam.
Definitely.
In this full exam, the scores either be moderate or be very poor.
Okay.
But the point is, only when you sit and write a one full exam mixed with agile, non-agile, and process, some questions like that, you will get a feel of how an exam would look like. Also, we will start seeing our gray areas.
Yes.
Imagine you are very good in resource management. We tend to spend more time there, which is may not be needed. When you write a full exam, you'll understand you are weak in maybe something on risk management. So you will spend time there to read why I'm not getting it.
Yes.
So taking a full exam is a good advice for the people from April batch in the month of May.
Yes. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Great. Okay. All right. So good. Anything more? Let's listen to some questions. People want to share your question. Let's see what was your take on the question today. Okay. So what we can do is people who attempted today, pick up a question which you feel that was challenging for you. You can share the question with the answer and bring up a conversation. Let us see, is this something which you thought is the right answer? Because many times we would have thought A is an answer. Yes, A is an answer also, but your logic and the justification given will be totally different.
Can I go ahead, speak?
Sure, please share it.
Yeah, so this is from the Agile. To be honest, I did not know about the levels. I chose to because Okay, let me read the question first. Your team is having a passionate discussion, and you're trying to understand the level of conflict. The team is making statements like, "I guess we are just going to save the day again. This is a stupid discussion." What level of conflict are you observing? So it's level 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what I thought, level 1 is probably a minor. Level 4 is more like it's too complicated. So I kind of chose something in between that. But this is something which probably something I couldn't find in the Agile practice guide. So this is one question. So how understand
level of conflicts? Okay, first of all, this is a conflict now available in Rita book also. If not, you will see this in Mike Griffith book. So when you gave level 2, is it by an assumption? Is it right?
Yes, I thought level 4 is the highest where a lot of complexity. Level 1 is the so I thought of choosing 2 or 3. I eliminated 4 and 1, and I gave 2 actually. So it was an assumption, in fact. Yeah.
Assumption. You went by assumption.
Yeah.
Let me see if we can pull out some information on this. Meantime, anyone here who are from Agile, have you seen these conflict levels? Not much. Okay. So can you go to the justification and what is explained there?
Well, this is the justification. This is the only one. At level 2, the language is cynical and team members try to discuss themselves from the debate.
Okay, right. So there are some levels in a conflict manage. For example, if you go to level 1, level 2, level 3, there is a level where it goes to the war mode, where it is non-controllable. People go to the level of fighting and it'll go to the destructive mode. Whereas a very beginning stage mode is something where people can at least converse, come to a common conclusion. This is part of your studies. I know you gave by assumption. I would recommend you to see in the RETA 10th edition or see in a Mike Griffith book. There is something explained about the levels of conflict. I doubt this is going to be part of your main exams because it is yet to get super matured in the main exams. Even now, PMI uses what we see usually in the project management reference books about conflict management. They're yet to get into agile conflict things, which were we read there to bring here. So for now, understand this is just a level to show that the lower where you can have a conversation can be better. Higher it goes, it becomes like a war mode. Okay. If you can understand up to that, fine now. But I recommend you to go back and read in RETA 10 or Mike Griffith book.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Good. That's one. I have Sandra. Hey, Sandra.
Yeah, Shri, with one of today's question, I had a doubt. So I'm sharing my screen. Yeah. So this question, a project has a quality management plan in place. This plan states that project deliverables must be reviewed for a quality at least 5 days before the deadline. 4 deliverables have filled the quality requirement. What should the project manager do? And here the right answer is selected as generate a cause and effect diagram for analysis. So I don't understand how this answer fits in for this question. Or is it that the question is slightly wrong? Is it meant to say 4 deliverables have failed the quality requirement? Is that what it was supposed to be?
Let's see this. A project manager has a quality management plan in place. This plan states that project deliverables must be reviewed. For quality at least 5 business days prior to before the deadline. Okay, that's a plan. 4 deliverables requirements. Okay, filled. Yeah, the explanation says there is a root cause has to be done. If it is filled the quality requirements, then no need to do root cause. Right? If it fills clearly, I don't think you have a problem at all. What about other answers? Contact the project sponsor and request advice. Not needed. Inquire regarding the feasibility of an internal audit of the project. Audit not needed. Rewrite relevant portions of the quality management plan. Plan also no need to change. Generate a cause and effect diagram for analysis. Okay, looking at the answer, the question looks something wrong.
Yes.
4 deliverables have failed the quality requirement. What should the project manager do? See, only when it fails, all these things starts working.
Correct.
If it is a filled, it doesn't work in. So look like there's a mistake there.
Okay.
Okay, do one thing. Can you please mark this question and share with this chat box or share with Rahul? We'll work it out.
All right. Okay, sure. We'll do that.
Okay, thanks for that.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, next one. We have Vasant.
Actually, how are you?
Great. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So let me share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, visible.
Can you see the question here?
Yeah. Please read it.
It says a project manager is preparing the charter for a project. The project aims to automate 30% of product testing. The project sponsor advises the project manager to assign senior test engineers to identify the tests that can be automated. The test department manager, however, is not cooperative because they believe that the project will lead to downsizing in their department. Which two actions are suitable in this scenario? So we need to choose two answers. So I chose this one, having a meeting with the test department manager to discuss mutual expectations. So that is like, yeah. Then the next one I chose was present data-driven cost benefit evidence of test automation to the test department manager. So I thought it is more rational to show the test automation details to him to get approval and carry on. But here the answer says that raise the risk that senior testing engineers will not be available for testing. So it's directly saying that they will not be available in the part. So is it reasonable to add that in the project charter as a risk? Whereas the explanation here is, in this scenario, the project manager's first action is to attempt to make the stakeholder cooperative with the project. So that way, this makes sense that I will present data-driven cost benefit evidence of test automation. That makes sense because I want to give all the details to the test department manager so that he gets convinced that, okay, this is the right way to go. One way of doing this is presenting data that supports the business decision. So that is what I presented here. I clicked the right answer, I think, present data-driven. But here it says the raise the risk that the senior testing engineers will not be available for testing. I'm like a little confused in terms of knowing this.
Yeah. I think we've seen this question before once. A project manager is preparing the charter for the project. Preparing a charter, which means a project has started or yet to start?
Yet to start. Is like they are preparing a charter.
Very good. Very beginning stage. Very beginning stage. You are thinking of it. The project aims to automate 30% of a product testing. There are, imagines a lot of items in this 30% can be automated. You don't need to make a machine human, the machine's made. The project sponsor advised the project manager to assign senior test engineers to identify the tests that can be automated. Now there is an advice. Hey guys, put some people who can automate it. But the test department manager, however, is not cooperative because they believe that the project will lead to downsizing the department. So I want to get 4 or 5 people from this department. And this guy feels that, boo, this will become people losing the job. So chances are we may not get the right people to do the job. Which two actions are suitable in this scenario? Having a meeting with the test department manager, discuss mutual expectation. Very good. Now you're discussing an expectation. Nice. Now the next stage is whether to present a data or consider as a risk. Risk is a future event which may or may not happen. So at present, we see that this guy may not give people to do the research, not only for research, will also not give for people to do any automation because he or she is thinking automation itself is trouble to the company. Okay. Let's park that thought. Now, what we're thinking is present data-driven cost-benefit evidence of test automation. Now, what data we will present here? Is it from the current project or previous project?
Should be current project. What is the risk?
Right. But the project has not started. So present data-driven cost-benefit evidence. When you say evidence, it's a facts. How you will get facts to present with the department manager? That too, you're going to prove that something. How are you going to prove it? Is it something you're going to show past historical record? I said no. And you say current data. When it is current data, I doubt you won't have any data now because you are in the still charter stage. Rather, raise a risk that senior testing engineers will not be available for the testing. I know it's a little far away, far ahead, because it's not a risk now. You're telling that, guys, these people are not available. This itself a risk for the project. at the charter level. Are you
So
with
do
me on
we
this?
have risk in, do we add risk in the charter
Yeah,
or in the
have,
project planning?
yeah, we do. In charter, we'll have a high level risk and high level assumptions. In charter, if we have seen, we would have seen something like high level scope, timeline, budget involved, and also high level risk will be there. So that will help us to be a bit prepared. What can we expect in the upcoming days? So I believe that's where the answer is going. And also in the justification, one way of doing this is presenting the data supports a business decision. Now we are talking on business decision. Business decision is a little different, right? Business is something on whether to move this project forward or we have to delay, we have to recruit more people. It is not relevant to only the testing automation. Of course, it will be a subset, but business decision is something little higher. They start talking about what to do or not to do this business. Kind of cost benefit analysis will help there, but I will say beyond that little higher. Where I am little, even though I feel C can be good, but I'm not really aligned is, since the work has not started, it will be pretty hard for me to give an evidence for this guy. If you show a past, probably he or she won't agree with me. Say that, hey, come on, man, that was the previous one. Right? That's why this answer is goes towards
tricky.
Yeah, I know it's
a
tricky question. Within 1 minute, I don't know how much your brain can work on it.
No, I was pretty confident that if I have maybe some I do some research and get some data saying that if you automate, we will be able to save time and cost instead of spending more people working on all 100% of the testing. So that's what was running in my mind, and I chose this answer. And I was okay. And the explanation was it says one way of doing this is presenting the data, then C should be the right answer. So that's why I was a bit confused.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, good question. I know. I've seen this question sometime back. The same confusion.
I sent it to you last week.
Yeah. Sometime back I've seen this question.
Yeah.
Whenever I see this question, every time I have a different interpretation. But I go with this term called evidence sharing. The moment I say evidence, that too with the test manager, if I don't have a facts of reality, it is so hard to convince. That's the message. All right. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Perfect.
No, thank you.
All right. Let's get to Alex. Hey, Alex.
Hey, Shri. So yeah, my question is this number 30. It says the pandemic has caused delays, which will make it very difficult to launch the new product on time. Television ads for this launch date are already purchased. So the CEO has asked the project manager to find a way to launch the product, even with some minor features not included. Which measures would be the most effective step toward a successful and timely product launch? So the reason that I eliminated this last option was it says minor features are not included, which kind of says minimum marketable product, not minimum viable product, because minimum viable product would be the most basic features. But here it says only the minor features. So the major features are already included. That was my logic of putting it here.
Okay, missed that point. You marked the answer as fast track the schedule and establish new test and readiness milestones as close as possible to the planned launch date. Okay. Answer says plan a parallel iterative track to develop requirements for a MEP and a de-scope unnecessary predictive task. De-scope unnecessary predictive task. Okay, nice. Okay, let me see from the question. So what is the key in the question for you? The pandemic has caused delay, which will make it very difficult to launch the new product on time. Some constraints are there. Very good. Television ads for the launch date are already purchased. So the CEO has asked the project manager to find a way to launch a product even if some minor features are not included. Okay. Okay. I think I lost your screen. I lost him totally. Okay. Fine. Who was it talking to me? I lost the screen. Or let him come back. Alex. Let Alex come back. Meantime, we'll go to Ramaraju and come back. Ramaraju, please start. I'll come back to Alex again. Yes, Ramaraju.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Hmm.
Yeah, actually, I have obtained around below the target today, the 40 mark test. Analyzed, I faced a major challenge. I could able to reduce my choices to 2, and around 7 to 8 questions I have selected the wrong one again.
Oh.
There I faced some challenge.
Is it a subject gap or question reading? You found some gap?
Few of the questions subject gap, obviously. Few of the questions I couldn't read it properly. I mean, make the choice properly. But today I have one question from the today's paper. Just give me a second and share my screen.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Share the question. We will see if you have anything to share that where you misunderstood.
Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, loaded.
So, question is, a project manager in an organization that uses traditional project management is assigned to an ongoing project. Recently, the organization has started to use Agile methodologies for projects. The project manager hears that some team members think they think key subject matter expertise is missing, and the team does not collaborate. How should the project manager respond to these team members' concerns? Selected at the next stand-up meeting, emphasize the importance of collaboration to their entire team. As per the explanation, C is the correct one. I thought out of these two, one will be the answer. I selected the B because when I see the question, how should the project manager respond to these team members' concern? If you see answer C, it is telling add additional resources, which means adding the additional resources, not resolving the existing team members' concern. That is what my thought process was.
Okay. So what is the core of this question? The answer is good. Now, what is the problem in the question? If you observed, yeah, traditional project team is moving towards Agile. Okay. What is the problem in the question?
Yeah, problem again in the analysis, I observed key subject matter expertise is missing. First issue. Second issue is team does not collaborate.
Very good. So which means what is needed is we need a people more knowledgeable on some key areas. Also, the knowledgeable people should be open enough to have a conversation. Very good. So this is what the problem, that's what could be an answer. Okay, how should the project manager respond to these team members' concerns? I'll take the answer. At the next stand-up meeting, emphasize the importance of collaboration to their entire team. Very good. We emphasized it. So what will happen next?
Again, I think my answer might resolve the collaboration issue, not the subject matter expertise.
Right. But do you think that emphasizing alone will help? Emphasis will help. I'm not denying that. But will that alone will help to solve the problem?
No.
Emphasize means in the next stand-up, you're telling that, guys, come on, man. I heard that the people are not talking to each other properly and you guys are not helping each other. Please go ahead, help it.
Yeah.
People in the call, how many people respond?
Very few.
Same like in our Q&A, some session, people will keep quiet, even looking at the questions, staring at them. They'll stare at you. They stare at you. Oh, Sriram is talking. Okay, nice. They look at you and then they say, thanks, I'll do. But yeah, what you said is right. Emphasizing is nice. But more than emphasizing, what can we do here? Yes, emphasizing is subset. I'm not denying that. But to solve the problem of SME, SME was a biggest problem from 1970s and 80s, even today. When I say SME, one person holds the knowledge, the rest of them don't know that. Even today, many industries are like that. But what to do? There are some industries where SMEs are needed. On top of that, we have something where people have knowledge in more than one areas.
Yeah.
That's one thing. We call them as a T-shaped team members. We learned in classes.
Yes.
If you remember it, right?
Yes.
That is one. That's not the only thing, by the way. And on top of that, there is something called cross-functional team. When I say cross-functional, which means it breaks a silo of each department being individual, where they start talking to one another. They work as a one family, work as a one group, one team. Now, we have to address two problems here. One is reducing the dependency heavily on SMEs. Also, we should make sure that people talk to one another. Very good. So if none of the answer is there, maybe we also can give some input to you, but that won't solve the problem.
Yes.
Let's see something other answers. Answer D. Start using Kanban board instead of Gantt chart. That's a tool. Tool alone will not help you.
Yes.
Okay. First answer. Employ third-party specialist to fill the knowledge gap. Yeah, we can use it. Once in a while, it'll be good. The person walks into our floor, explains all the concepts. Yeah, that'll give some idea.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a permanent solution because
Yeah.
we are moving towards agile methodology, right? So when you move to some new methodology, yeah, we have to utilize the benefit of it. Now, what is C? Add cross-functional internal resources and explain their value to the team. Now, what is happening here is when you do a cross-functional internal resources, now, by cross-functional, what it means here is this people are capable of bringing up knowledge from different segments and also open enough to converse, not to be in silo.
Okay.
Let's go to justification. So what the justification says? Agile projects require T-shaped team members. Very good. That is individuals who are cross-functional and understand the importance of value collaboration across functional areas. In this case, the team needs an addition of skilled resources and people who collaborate. So by bringing a cross-functional team, by bringing a people who knows the value of collaboration or agile team practice, they come inside. When they come in, now if I emphasize something on the stand-up, it can give some benefit. So I would say C is a superset and B could be a subset of this answer.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So I would say C is a better answer here on this segment. Yep.
So I have another question. Actually, it is from last week. I attempted the full mark. We have discussed this issue also, this question last week, if you see. But later I analyzed it. Last week I didn't analyze it while asking the question. So later I analyzed. I understood main question here. Here they are asking about. I think you remember this one. So I'm directly going.
There is no unit was given. That's where we are able to stop there. So what you found the unit? Days?
No. Here they are asking projects cycle time. I was thinking about projects life cycle time. So the explanation is telling that I understood this cycle time is different. Project life cycle, that concept is different.
Right.
It is number of days per delivered story. So according to this, one will be the answer. Basically, it is a lack of study. I haven't studied the subject, so that is
how one is answered here for this question. Can you go through the question?
Yes, your project team has recently completed third iteration on the project. So far, 45 story points have been successfully delivered to the customer. For this project, the iteration size is fixed 3 weeks. The team is dedicated to working 5 days per week. looking at the backlog, you have 150 story points remaining to be delivered. What is the project cycle time? So per iteration, 15 stories are completing. And per iteration, 15 days we are spending. So per day, 1 story point we are delivering.
Okay.
So according to that, I mean, 45 story points completed, 45 days we have completed in 3 iterations. So average 1 story per day. That will be the cycle time.
When you say project's cycle time, is it for the whole project? The timeline of a project getting completed or one activity getting completed?
Yeah, actually last time, no, I thought it is project like life cycle time, entire project completion time.
Don't mix both. Life cycle is different, cycle is different. Okay. Life cycle is initiation, planning, executing, or starting a new work, doing it, delivering it. Okay. Cycle time is, yes, something like that, but it is from the day when the new thought came in and when it goes to market. It is something like imagination to the cash, or your new requirement into cash. The cycle time. But how we are relating that with number 1 here?
Yeah, again, here this word projects, this word is giving that confusion. But as per the explanation, I'm not coming from answer to question to explanation. I'm going in from explanation. I'm looking the
question. Okay.
Okay. So my understanding is wrong in the question is this word, particular word is making that confusion.
So here they're explaining you each iteration is 3 weeks. The team delivers on average 5 stories per week or 1 story per day. But the question is looking for this cycle time, project like cycle time. So what I'll request you is keep this question. Good that you do more research. Now what you do is go to Mike Griffith book. In Mike Griffith book, there you will see cycle time, lead time, and project cycle time. 3 topics will be there.
Okay.
Under that, please read what is project cycle time. Okay.
Okay.
Once you get that, you don't need to find the answer here, but at least get the idea what is a cycle time or project cycle time. If we get a clarity, and then probably we'll get a little more information on this. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Good.
Thank you.
Good, you're doing more research on it. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Excuse me, actually, this is Swaminathan. I have a small query on the previous question which Ramaraju shared.
Previous question, please.
Yeah.
Ramaraju. Alex, please hold on. We'll come back to you.
One second, Shri. I'm sharing that. Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please.
In this question, I can go with the justification, but my clarification is in this question, they are mentioning that the subject matter expertise is missing, and because of that, the team is not collaborating. So we can have the point A as an option also. So that
employ third-party specialists to fill the knowledge gap. Yes, could be done. Not denying that. But the problem with a third party is they will come in, give a knowledge, and move away from the system. But that is not a good style for longevity in a project where you want to maintain the knowledge base and also bring a team spirit. This is happening in many industries, but at least in Agile industry, what they do is they recruit people who are T-shaped. That's why you see a T-shape. T-shape means it's not only one area you have knowledge. You may have knowledge in a couple of more areas. By this, what we do is you bring a team spirit that I'm not relying always on the third party. I have a person who can help me. Or I have a people who are cross-functional. They will do more than one. And that gives a confidence for the team to move forward. It means they call self-sustained. cross-functional, self-organizing. I'm sure you heard these kind of terms before.
Yeah.
That is the reason they go for it. If not, yes, third party, you have no other choice. Yeah, you go for it. What do you do?
No, why I asked this? Because on this question, I understood as the collaboration does not happening because of the lack in subject matter expertization. So that is why I raised this point.
I think that is not the only reason. The manager hears that some team members think key matter expertise is missing. Another team does not collaborate. Both can be separate also. It is not one or depend on other. Even though you have an expert, what if they don't collaborate? So there comes the point Alex was saying that, hey guys, emphasize on the team meeting. Hey, please come on guys, collaborate to one another. But rather doing that, what we do is we put a cross-functional team together. And when I bring cross-functional, when I bring T-shaped people, you get people talk to one another and emphasize the value of agile team. That's also the given the answer. And I explain their value to the team. When it means value, why we need a cross-functional, why we need a self-organizing team. That you can explain. Rather telling them, guys, every day, tomorrow, you should all talk together. Saying that. Rather explaining the benefit of doing this, people will take it. The buy-in is very high.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a message.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, that's for the Alex or Raju. Did I speak to Raju or Alex? Sorry, guys. I spoke to Raju.
Yeah, now you clarified for Alex.
Okay, okay, right, good. Let's jump to the next person.
Thank you.
But again, thanks, Raju. Alexa, you were sharing some question. I missed that point before I think you dropped off or lost your card.
Yeah, let me just share that again.
Yep. Then we'll go to Pratik.
Yeah, so this is the question. The CEO has asked the project manager to launch a project with some minor features not included. And which is the approach that I should take. So I eliminated the option D because it says minimum viable product instead of like minimum marketable product.
Yeah, you said about it. Okay, I was reading this point, the area where you marked up.
Yeah.
A way to launch a product even if some minor features are not included. Imagine 12 features to be delivered. Now what happened is a date crunch is there and we found a 12 cannot be done. At least we'll go with 7 of them. Okay, that is the situation where I'm reading. Okay. Which measures would be the most effective step toward a successful and timely product launch? Okay, let me go to the first sentence again. The pandemic caused a delay. Okay, people not available, money not available. Launch date is finalized. Imagine by the date of Diwali, they want to launch it. The date is fixed. Launch a product. Very good. Nice. So we have a time constraint now. So what to do here? D is the right answer. Okay, let's see. C. Fast track the schedule. Fast track the schedule. What do you do in fast tracking the schedule? What is fast tracking?
You'll run activities parallelly, like tasks will be done parallelly.
Okay. Okay. Parallelly establish a new test and readiness milestone to as close as possible to the planned launch date. So what is your answer here is rather going sequential. If I go parallel, I should be able to complete it faster.
Yeah.
All right. That's a point. But is it something, is this something that's a problem here? Because here you could see that instead of doing, let's say 12 features, we are planning to go for 7. So we are reducing the scope. We are not having that same scope, but limited time, where you have to make a sequential into parallel.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, yeah, it's a good thought because fast tracking crashing is always good. Okay, let's go to B. Ask the team to remove product test most likely to fall at first attempt and de-scope requirements relating to those tests. Testing cannot be removed. It should be there. So B is gone. A. Double the size of the test team to ensure that any defects will be detected and corrected as early as possible. Double the size of the test team. That will not help, which is nothing but crashing. You feel that it's crashing? Double the size of the test team. Answer A. A looks crashing. B is not there. C, let's keep it there. Let's go to D. Plan a parallel iterative track to develop requirements for a minimum viable product. And D, scope unnecessary predictive task. Very good. Nice. So now why you thought D may not be an answer?
Because the question looked like a definition for the minimum marketable product.
Minimum marketable product. Okay.
Yeah, so I thought it won't match with the minimum viable product.
What is the difference between?
I guess it kind of overlaps.
How is it? What is the difference between both? You feel any big difference between marketable and viable?
I just took it up here. So. So it says a product developed with minimum effort to make money for the business. And it goes as a development technique, which a new product is introduced to the market with basic features, but not enough to get the attention of the consumers.
Do you think both are totally different or both are complementing one another?
Yeah, it's kind of intersecting.
So minimum marketable feature or minimum marketable product, minimum releasable feature. These are various terms used in the market. However, it is a general starting term would be like MVP. When you say MVP, a viable product for a launch, whenever it comes to launch, we use a term called MVP because something viable, usable at this point. On top of MVP, chances are you may go for more, they call us minimum releasable feature, a minimum marketable feature. There are multiple naming conventions. But again, even your answer C, do you think that is getting on this mindset? Because the C answer is looking on how can I do things parallel more than looking out which is important to the market. Are you getting that point here?
Yeah, makes more sense too.
Right. I know the point answer is a little tricky there because we try to reduce the time. How can I shrink it so I can go faster? That's a mindset we are looking into. But I'm looking from the sponsor perspective, CEO perspective. If I read the second sentence in the question, so the CEO has asked the project manager to find a way to launch a product, even if some features are not there. They're saying that I know that is because I'm running late. I know that. But is there a way, can we go something early? So now I would recommend that, guys, I know we can't go with everything. Let's go with the MVP or something quicker to the market. From there, I can do incremental addition. I don't know what product they're going to deliver, but the thought of a CEO is, as a customer, can I get it early? So that is the mindset in this question they're trying to get from you.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Right. Good. All right. Thanks for coming up.
I just had one more question.
One more question. Yeah.
Here it says a project manager implemented an approved change to manage risk. 3 months later, after the implemented change, the project manager learns that the change did not produce the desired result, and instead of producing negative consequences. So I just read it as instead produce negative consequences. How can the project manager avoid this problem on future projects? So I went with lessons learned register to be updated. But the answer seems to be the update the list on risk register. So my logic was it's looking at the future projects. So the future projects would be looking at the lessons learned register.
It's a tricky question, right? So risk has been identified and made some action. The project manager learned that the change did not produce a desired result. It's not giving a good result what they thought. Instead of producing negative consequences. How can the project manager avoid this problem on future projects? You don't want this to happen in future. Okay, where I can record it. The answer says update the list on the risk register with the risk. Okay, in the risk register, I'm adding it as a risk. Very good. Update the lessons learned register with the risk information. Risk information. Okay, let's see the justification. New projects should utilize organizational process assets such as lessons learned so they do not repeat the same mistake. Updating the list on the risk register with the risk will leave a trail of useful information for future projects. Okay, now use the lessons learned register with the risk information. I know it's a broader information you can give with what risk has happened. By the way, are you aware that any document which you update like schedule management, cost management, or risk register, this is all getting recorded and stored in OPA?
Yeah, it does.
Right. So whenever you go out of one project to another, a trial of all your information is recorded by your PMO. Of all the registers, documents will be there. Top of that, we also note down lessons learned. What do you mean by lessons learned is, when I do this, these kind of actions happen. You note it down. It could be of a time, money, or it could be of a people related. We'll record it. Now, this is a regular procedure in the system. That is always additional information. Nobody says no for it. It's good for it. Now, apart from that, when you see a risk register with the risk details. Now, by the way, for your information, are you aware in this question, is this, first of all, is it a risk addressed or not addressed?
The risk is not addressed yet.
Now, when you read the first sentence, the project manager implemented an approved change to manage risk.
Yeah, it's addressed. And
which means it's a recorded risk.
Yeah.
Right. 3 months after the implemented change, the project manager learns that the change did not produce a desired, which means you found some risk will happen for which you have a mitigation strategy. You applied it. Even after applying, few days later, months later, you see it is still there, which means what you thought, for which what you have drafted as mitigation is not working.
Yeah.
Now, instead of producing negative consequences, okay, learn that change did not produce the desired results. Instead of producing negative consequences, how can the manager avoid this problem in future? Which means in a risk register, you have a list of risk for which you written a strategy what to do. That what to do has been applied. After applying few months later, you found it is not working.
Yeah.
Now, do I need to go back and update the risk register again?
No.
Why we don't update it?
Yeah. Risk register should be updated as like the primary action.
Primary action, you have to go and update saying that we thought this will work, but it's not working. So which means the risk still continues.
Yeah.
So I have to do a workaround. I have to consider this as a secondary risk, or we have to look at what to do with this. Okay, that we will record it. You do it, and another 6 months runs, the project gets over. Now the data what you updated is also a lessons learned for your company for future project. Is that so?
It is because of the OPA. Yeah.
Right. Top of that, yes, you can add risk information. It is very generic, right? You update the lessons learned register with the risk information. It's very generic risk information. In a project, you'll have number of risk running. If you generally update a risk information, the lessons learned, it is okay. But will it give specific detail? The answer would be is, if I really want to be a lessons learned for the future, yes, I can give a high level information what it is. But where you have a clear specific detail is in the risk register, number 00105. That's a risk number. This risk we anticipated in the month of April. In April, the risk happened. The strategy, what we thought does not work. Now, what we did is, are you right? That is more informative than just giving risk information.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right. But this guy purposefully gave this answer to trick you. Okay. That is how it is. Let us see some other information. Look at here. Okay, I'm reading the justification now. In the second sentence, it says, updating the list on the risk register with the risk will leave a trail of useful information. There it goes. Trail of useful information. You will have a trail. What do you mean by trail? Trail means origination, where it originated, where it is now. That's the whole trail is needed. Okay, that is why they need that register. If the answer D is not there, C can be, but still it is so high level. Just the risk information won't help you. Imagine there is a big dam construction project happening. In that, when I give lessons learned as risk information in the month of April, how do I track from where it came, who gave this knowledge? It'll be so hard to get it. Whereas when you have a proper register, a number, risk, when it happened, what it happened, for this reference, you can add some information, answer C. That is fine. Okay. If not, you should have a proper detail on it.
Yeah. Now option D makes much more sense.
Amazing. You got it.
Yeah.
Super good. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's jump to Pratik. Pratik, close to the exam?
Yeah, 9th May, 10 days to go.
Okay, finally, yeah. 10 more days.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't see any message from you last few days.
Last week, this week only I had messaged you. Regarding a procurement chapter. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So I was confused actually. 2 days back only I booked the date, but I was still confused between 2nd May, 9th May. Then I found a lot of gaps in the knowledge, subject knowledge and all. Then I firmly went ahead with 9th May only.
Yeah. Okay. All right, good. You are ready. You're ready for it. But you have a travel, right? 7th or 6th, you say you have
yeah, 5, 6, 7.
God, man. So will you enjoy the travel or keep thinking PMP?
Actually, I was that was the reason I wanted to give it on 2nd of May. But now I don't have any option. Partially, I will keep thinking on PMP.
Okay. Fine. Go ahead. So what questions you have?
Yeah, I'll just share the question from the last mock which I had. Hold on. Just to confirm once you are able to see the screen.
Yes, visible.
The question says you are a project manager at a dairy farm that offers several dairy products to its clients in different states. Especially on the West Coast, you have sent a few of your team members to China to get specialized training on a spectacular dairy food processing equipment recently introduced in the market. The team member just completed the training, and this is one of the work results you have collected and recorded. This output describes which one of the following in the direct and managed project work process. So now this is related to input-output kind of scenario. So my answer was a project management plan update. So I thought there is one. There would be some kind of section where there will be a training of the team members, kind of activities in the WBS. And now we have the work results is now getting collected and recorded. So like the deliverables, the answer is actually the deliverables, but I'm still not able to understand how it can be the deliverables can be a correct answer. Because A and D both are an output of direct and managed project work. In fact, C as well.
Okay. You have sent a few of your team members to China to get a specialized training on a spectacular dairy food processing equipment recently introduced in the market. Okay. You have sent a few of your team members to China. Okay. First, do you consider this team members are part of a project? The moment you see the word team members are part of project, is that right?
Correct, right.
Okay. In a project, imagine a project goes, what product it is? Food processing equipment. Imagine they're going to come up with a food processing equipment installation as a project, as one of the project idea. China, and this product is happening in India. From China, we have to bring up these machineries, place it in one place, and make it's one of the machinery. We have a lot of things to do a food processing. It's one of the machinery. My digital team is working. My manufacturing team is setting up the place. The research team is doing some activity. Now, this research team traveling to China, learning things. Meantime, my other teams are working here. 5 people went to China. They were learning it. The reason for learning it, because they can carry the knowledge. Once a machine comes shipping towards India, I can keep it up, set it up, get it ready. Now, in this whole project plan, I'll put a WBS. In a work breakdown structure, I will put different components. Do you think training could be one of the piece of component on this whole boxes? Or it is a must component?
Yeah, it would be must component. That's what WBS, that's what I thought it is in project management plan. It will be in. It will be definitely it would definitely an
It will be
activity.
one of the component of a whole project, right? In the whole project, the 5-member team, research team from India has to travel to China to learn the component. If not, they cannot work on it. So I conclude this as one of important deliverable or a component. When I say deliverable, it is not always something you give to the customer. Deliverable, it's a project deliverable. A WBS is a project deliverable. Your design is a project deliverable. Some are tangible, some are intangible. Tangible is a physical copy, you give something. Intangible is what I'm talking to is intangible. Now, these deliverables combining together, only your project succeeds. In a project, you will have more than 30, 40 deliverables coming together. Only when you put all things together, a final output will go to the customer. So when you look at deliverable, the word, you can look from perspective like some are internal deliverable, some are external deliverable. Some deliverable goes to the customer, some deliverable is for your team itself. Your team use that deliverable to get another deliverable, right? Now look at the screen here. Now let's look at this. The team members just completed the training. And this is one of the work results you have collected and recorded. One of the work results, part of that. This output describes which of the following in the direct and managed project work process. Now they're asking back to the main sheet of PMP, where they say that in a direct and managed process, there are a few things comes out. One is you'll get a deliverable. Other one is you get data. We call it as work performance data, work performance information. Now, in this case, it's not a data. It is some deliverable coming out. Now, when you say project management plan updates, I would say a little broader it is, because project management plan means it's broader. It has schedule plan, cost plan, resource plan. It has multiple plans. In this case, we are not working on plan updates. The last sentence says direct and manage project work, which means somebody is executing the work. When somebody is traveling, they're learning, it's part of your company's deliverable, which is intangible for your company. Only when these people get this intangible learning as a deliverable, now when the machine comes in the port to the India company, they can start installing it, using it, so that the whole project gets completed. You cannot give this as a deliverable to your customer. Your customer will question you, guys, when is the machine ready? They say, yeah, one of the component is training, they just completed. Customer says, yes, okay, good. For which they have to allocate budget. Who gives the money? Customer gives the money for your China travel. Customer gives money for your 1 week of learning there. For them, it's a deliverable, but customer is not interested to take that from you. They are fine, you learn it because it's part of your project. Hope it clarifies.
But still, in this direct and managed project work process, it could also have happened that in this project management plan, when I see that training could also be a subcomponent listed over there, and I have the results I have collected and recorded. So the term recorded was given, so I was like, recorded can be done in the project management plan kind of thing, that the activity is now completed. Deliverables, none, like in my thought, deliverables never came actually while selecting these answers. So because four of them are the output of direct and managed project work process, as per what I read in the Rita. So all of them, these are the output only. But still, deliver. Yeah, the logic you told is it's now I can relate it to the deliverables. But when can I say that project management plan update after only some kind of change request are approved or something like that?
I think we missed a basic important point there in the question. Look at the last sentence. Can you read the last sentence?
Output is like this output describes which of the
Okay.
following.
Okay. Before we go there, this output. What output they're talking here?
The work results.
Work results. Do you think results will be part of a plan or execution?
Yeah, execution. But this execution will also be included in the project management plan, right?
What you plan is what you execute. I go with you on that. What you plan is what you execute. But the moment you see a results comes out, and that output cannot be part of plan, right? Only because of plan only you're doing execution. When you execute something, you get a result. Right. So if that's the case, it's an output, it's a result. I'm sure it won't go back to the plan. Now your answer D straight away goes away because of that reason.
Okay.
And C will not be there because we are not talking about any change request here.
Right. Yeah, actually I thought, I just realized that project management plan, when I selected, I was like the schedule. We have the deliverables listed in the schedule. So I thought the training could be one of the WBS or the activity listed in the schedule. So for that schedule part, I have marked a project management plan. But I think project management plan comprises the like general thing which you are told about. Right?
Yes, okay. After the plan only this execution happens. For this project, plan would have been drafted. Under this project management plan, we drafted that there is part of whole project. In the month of May, 5-member team has to travel to China and learn all these factors. It's part of project management plan.
Correct.
But we're not talking about the plan right now. Plan has been crossed. We are in execution. There they're asking a result has come out. Now what this result is called? That's what they're asking.
Correct.
That result is a deliverable, but this deliverable I will not give to the customer. It is for me, for my team members.
Right. So I have this kind of view that whenever I see or whenever I hear project management plan, it's only schedule for me. That plan is only the schedule, nothing else. So I have that thing.
Plan is project management plan means considered as a master, or they call as a mother document. They call as mother document. When I say mother document, it has a child. When I say child, it will have a scope plan, schedule plan, cost plan, procurement plan, risk plan. All the plans will come inside. So it's a mother document, what you see here.
True. Got it.
Perfect.
Yeah, and one more thing from the last one only. This like question I'm reading out. While managing a nanotechnology project to build an elevated tunnel from the ground to the space station, you need to procure a new material called carbon nanotube, which is extremely strong and resistant to heavy pressure due to patent constraints. There is only one supplier in a different state who can provide you with this material. You check the supplier's website and realize that the price listed for the material on the site will be within your approved limit. What would you do in this situation? So the key word here is there is only one supplier in a different state who can provide you with this material, and the price listed is within your approved limit. Okay, so what should you do in this situation? So I selected ask the procurement department to take care of this situation. Considering I read in the procurement chapter that if it is not given in the question, consider it is as a centralized department where you have all the procurement department and the project manager and all. So I thought there will be a separate procurement department, and I will just ask my procurement department to take care of the situation because it is only one supplier right now, or maybe anything like that, like one supplier, two suppliers, or whatever it may be. Considering it is a centralized and considering as an option that they have given that ask the procurement department to take care of this situation, I selected that. But now the answer comes out is the option A. Consider purchasing the material from the source even though it is a sole source. So I thought B is the first and then comes the A. and the description of the answer is like something which I did not understand as well. Competitive, non-competitive forms of procurement, and this is also some kind of tricky explanation as well in this.
Okay. So now keep this question. Now you want to buy something for your home. Imagine you want to buy some home appliances. Okay, you live in a city, and that's a only store having that appliance in the next 50 kilometers radius. You know about this. Now, when you come back to your home, what kind of conversation you will have in your dinner table? Will you discuss multiple stores which one to buy, or you know that only one store is available? That's what we have to buy. So when you say multiple stores comes in, you will go through all procedure of whom to buy, who goes with a better price, who is authentic in proper support system. Your source selection criteria will come into picture.
Correct.
But in the whole 50 kilometers radius, that's the only store available. You will not even think of source selection criteria.
Correct.
First, you will think is whether that guy will give me that, because demand and supply is not matching. Okay. Now, in the procurement process, one is something called selected sellers, or you have all preferred sellers already. When I say preferred sellers, you company would have already done procurement management, as you rightly said some time back, centralized procurement management, and we would have chosen 4 or 5 vendors who are available in the market. Your company will be shortlisted. From there only, we'll pick up some people who will be part of your company procurement. Even today in your company, if they have a catering service, would have been the preferred sellers. Your company will have some catering service. Some people would have been serving food there, which is already chosen. But here we are going with the sole source, who is the only company available. You don't have any other choice. Let us see the answers here. The answer is ask the procurement department to take care of this situation. I believe, yes, procurement department only will handle it. They will initiate the purchasing process, but you may not need to do procurement whole procedure here. Now let us see the question, what they're asking. The question is, what should you do in this situation? When I say situation, the situation here is you have only one guy. What are you going to do? Answer A. Consider purchasing the material from the source even though it is a sole source. When I say sole source, that's the only company available. Like I said about your home appliances, that's the only company. So you're considering the purchasing the material. You don't even want to go and look for source selection criteria. You go and buy it. You create a purchase order, give the purchase order, buy the material, come back. If it is more than one vendors available in the market, then comes a competitive seller, non-competitive, all factors comes in. If not, nothing is it. Now, where you found tricky that vendor management is tough here, because to me, I feel that vendor management is not involved at all in this place. They're just going to start the purchase order immediately. You feel that?
Yeah, but so I thought like since considering there is a procurement department, the project manager won't be allowed to do the purchasing of the material. So
you won't do it. Yeah, you are right. Manager will not do that. When they say consider purchasing, it's not that you create the order. You will inform your procurement department or any department, purchase department, guys, can you please help me? I want to purchase these items from this company. They will create the order. But the point is, you are not going to the procurement procedure all the way. That's not needed.
So asking the procurement department to take care of the situation means going through the complete procurement process again.
Could be, right? You ask, you telling that guys started. Rather, you can consider purchasing. Purchasing is different, and taking the situation totally will drive in a different way. You mean that you want them to check for more options. They may travel another country to find another person available. They can even import, right? Sole person is available here. They can even go to another country. But when you say purchase material, you move to next stage. When you say purchase material, you are ready enough to buy that. You want to get more details of it and then give a purchase order and get the material imported or whatever it is.
Okay.
Yep.
So consider purchasing means I am not purchasing it, but I am considering it to get purchased, and then I will ask my procurement department to raise the purchase orders.
Of course, as a manager, you cannot do all these things on your own. You will have many people. Even the procurement department directly will not involve in purchasing. There is a different team for a supply chain.
Right.
Right? So supply chain department will come in, pitch in. And supply chain department will connect with the finance department. And there are many chains out there. You will go one by that to get it happen.
Correct. So if the sentence in the statement A, okay, it is written consider purchasing the material from source. If it is written otherwise, like purchase the material from the source, even though it is a sold, will it be the same answer if it is written that purchase the material from the source?
Purchase a material from source. I believe that's also the same meaning. Considering and purchasing, I don't feel a much difference. When I read this question, I would have feel that purchasing is a decision, not directly you fill the form, go to the market and buy it. It's a decision making. Here they're asking what should you do in this. They want only your decision as a manager, as per the roles and responsibility, as per the PMI ethics, what I can do here as a best. That's what the expectation. They're not expecting you to put your hands all together here.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. That's a good question. Let's get to Poonam.
Yeah. Hi, Shri. Good evening. Shri, okay, I'm sharing my screen. I have joined in the April batch and I'm targeting my exam in June first week.
Very good.
So since first day, I'm able to progress with the exam.
Very good. Please go ahead. Good to see your energy. Keep up that.
Yeah. So I have a few questions today. So the question number 14, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Please read the question.
So the question is, the Agile team sometimes this banner is coming in all the way.
I can see the question. Don't worry. Read it.
The Agile team sometimes has idle periods while awaiting a product director to inform the. I couldn't read because of that banner is coming in.
I will read it. No issues.
Yeah,
Which some banners popping for you? Okay. I will read the question. The Agile team sometimes has ideal periods while awaiting a product director to inform the product owner on new goals. The decisions depend on analysis of market research, which measure could reconcile the needs of the director and the Agile team. Okay, the choice what you are given here is plan team training events to coincide with anticipated ideal periods.
Yeah, and the correct answer as per the system is run market research spikes and product owner can update the director after clearing the backlog. So my concern here is that the team is not authorized or a part of the work that to understand the goal for the product owner. So when the time is there with the team, they should focus on the training events and use that idle period. So
okay.
So that
So
is
point
my
here
thinking.
is when imagine a month of April, this team is not having much work.
Yeah.
So the Agile team sometimes has ideal period while awaiting a product director to inform product owner on a new goals. Before informing the new goals, the team is having some leisure time, lag time, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to feel.
Yeah.
And also they're saying that the team is waiting for some decision. Okay.
Yeah.
The decision depends on analysis of market research. Something on the market research, the team is waiting.
Yeah.
Which measure could reconcile the needs of the director and Agile team? They're asking which measure can reconcile the needs of the director and Agile team. It has to be reconciling between the director and the team, both.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So your answer is plan team training events to coincide with the anticipated ideal periods. Plan team trainings are fine. Coincide with anticipated ideal periods. You mean coincide with anticipated ideal. If you know ideal period is going to be month of April, you want to coincide with that and conduct the trainings, which means you don't want them to keep idle whenever there is a free time.
Right.
Very good. Nice. Now, let's see the other answer also. Run market research spikes and the product owner can update the director after clearing the backlog. Okay. See, eliminate a slack by reducing the team size to smooth the output curve. Reduce the team size. Then send some guys to home.
Yeah.
Okay, not answer. D. Run team brainstorming sessions on new goals to suggest to the director. Goals we won't suggest to director, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Goals are a little higher than us.
Yeah.
So C and D ruled out. Very good. Are you aware of the term called spikes in Agile?
Spikes in the sense, no, not clearly.
Not much used. Okay, which domain you work for?
I'm in IT. I'm in a predictive or waterfall project manager.
Waterfall manager in IT. Very good.
Yes, yes.
In Agile, at least in IT, you will see some term called a spike. A spike. I'm meant to share that info to you. A spike is something research oriented. What do you mean research oriented? Whenever a new concept or new technology or new feature is coming up in the market, the team utilize a period which is called a spike to do some research on that. Out of the research, they'll get some answers, and that answers will be shared with everyone in the team and the upper management. So ideally, spike is used for new products, new features which need some research. Sometimes we call it as a POC. Have you heard about POC?
No.
Proof of concept.
Okay. Yeah.
So we do a proof of concept. For example, which you said predictive, right? Which kind of, it's a e-commerce, research, what website?
It's telecom. It's telecom.
Very good. Telecom is keep upgrading every 3-4 years. And today we are using a lot of optic and a lot of wireless. And also we're using some artificial intelligence. Imagine your team want to do something with the wireless, including artificial intelligence. The team want to do. They know the product is in the market. Research is going on. They may start the work in the month of June. But I won't tell that let's wait till June. What we'll do? The team will do some research on that. That research is called as a spikes. Technically, how this will work. By this, we will give input to our product owners and directors. Is this possible to do? Or they call feasibility study. Is it feasible to do? If it is feasible, how long it will take? What all will happen? What is the consequence? What is a good thing? Now, to do this spikes, trainings are needed. Isn't it? If it's a new technology, you cannot expect your team to do on their own. You need some training. Right. So answer A can be there. Answer A is good. But only training will not help in the current world. In current world, training plus apply that training through spikes, research, proof of concept, that is what will be successful.
Okay.
Only training will not be successful.
But here the market research team would be different, and the agile team which will be working on the actual product would be different, right? So the team which is waiting for the
not necessarily. I don't think they mentioned as 2 different teams here, do they?
No, they didn't mention, but they mentioned agile team which will be.
It could be even same team, even individual different team. That's okay, but. See, only question is there is an agile team. They kept it very open. They didn't want to tell which team is doing what. But for this team only, something is still in progress to get us a product to start the work. If that's the case, I believe this team could spend some time, learn something. Let's see the answer B. Run market research spikes, and the product owner can update the director after clearing the backlog. I know some of the unwanted little extra addition is there, clearing the backlog.
Yeah, because still goals are not yet clear. Team is already idle. Then what backlog they are clearing?
Yeah, but if you be very careful here, they say agile teams sometimes has ideal period while awaiting a product director to inform the product owner on new goals, which means this team already exists. They are doing some work already. On the travel journey, you get more goals on your way, isn't it? A banking system. Imagine you're using Citibank or ICICI Bank or American Express. goals will be keep on coming to you.
Yeah.
You cannot tell that I'm waiting for a day one to start the project. This is not the day one team starting the project. It could be a team which is already running.
Okay.
And they're telling sometimes has ideal period, which means you are working somewhere.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
you're working, you're getting ideal period. On this ideal period, what do? You do some research. That's what they're trying.
Okay.
So request to you is, I know we are trying to find the answer, fit the answer, but my intention is not that. You learn the agile books, you can also learn the term called spikes. Now,
Okay.
today you are learning will be what is spikes.
Okay.
How spikes is used in sprints. That's a good learning you have to do.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. One more question. I have actually two more, but yeah, I'll go for one more, and then maybe in the evening we can go for the rest.
Yes, time is tight now. I have to go to next
Yeah.
session. So we'll take
Yeah.
one question.
Yeah. Even I have to take a break. Okay. So question number 20. So you are managing a construction project when two of your team members have a conflict. The two team members are John and Matilda. John is a construction worker who is working present on site, while Matilda is an administrative assistant who works at the company's headquarters. So both are working at the different location with different roles. So which of the following is the most likely to be the reason for conflict? So here the correct answer as per system is personal work style. And I feel it's a ground rules. If there are ground rules defined between different people and different processes, then it would be the, it would not be, it will be the first, I mean, priority for me. So personal
Understood.
work style, because even though two people are working on the same floor, they have different personal work styles. So,
okay.
so it can be.
Understood. So is this understanding from learning what are the conflict models, or it's by assumption?
Both, like I gone through the conflict management as well from the topic from that PMBOK, not PMBOK, the Rita's edition. And from there as well, this is the understanding what I got.
Okay. So what is the high thing given there in list of high conflicts? List of conflicts. Do you think ground rules is part of that?
Yes, if ground rules are not mentioned clearly, then it would be the concern of conflict.
Okay. Okay. So first thing is certain things are high in the top level list of conflicts, starting from scarcity of resources or scheduling, or it could be of a work style, or could be of compensation. Some factors are there. These are things which pulls for the factors related to the conflicts. Now, when you say ground rules here, ground rules is something between the team when they agree how do they want to work, what time they want to meet, or what kind of conflict resolutions they want to follow. That's what ground rules are all about. Okay. Here it is something about each individual style of working. Just give me a second.
Yeah, sure.
So now here the team is not talking about how they have to work, on what time they have to meet, what to do. This is something different. The two team members are in a construction work who is present on site, while which of the following is most likely to be the reason for conflict? It is something beyond the ground rules. Each working, they have their own style of doing something, which is not aligning with one another. Now, ground rules is a common factors how the team want to take something in future. By the way, when you read the pattern of conflict management, I would request you to read it one more time. You will not see ground rule as one of the important thing in the conflict management. In conflict management, you take personal work style as very important, even though don't read into depth of conflict management. In this situation, you may not say that because of ground rules that could have been fixed. Okay, and now the two team members are John and Manita. John is a construction worker who is present at on-site. One person in an administrative office. Okay, now this person is working with a different team in a different environment, which is on site, on the ground, cement or steel, work is happening. One person is working on an administrative office, could be at a building or in a place.
Yeah.
Now, how a ground rule can be drafted between these two guys?
Like as per my understanding, the communication plan and the things which needs to be convey with some format or templates in that way.
That way, okay. Good thought. But look at from employees of different category of working. One is working in administration, one is working at the labor level, at the level of installing some job there.
Yeah.
Now, what can create a conflict between them? Is it working personal style of each people will create a conflict, or a ground rule? I leave this topic open to you. Go back and read again on the conflict management. First, understand the list of conflicts, and then see whether the ground rules will fit into that.
Okay.
Once it fit into that, yes, then we have to see that two set of employees of different category of job they're doing, how we will bring a common ground rule for them without creating a conflict. If you think from that perspective, then you will get an answer on it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Shri.
All right. Good, guys.
Let's meet at 6
Let's
then.
jump back.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for everyone joining here. We'll catch up in next QA session. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri.